more or nothing. Lads, what genre is our theme tune? I'm going to say it's like contemporary, sort of weird country. What are we thinking? That is a weird fucking beat. I quite like it, but
modern country rock.
Do you reckon like the listeners do what we do, like and go, I'm
just like here, just bobbing. Just bobbing.
We should work out some rap that we can bring into it. We do 3 different genres that we bring to our live show.
I can only imagine how gangster that rap will be if you think out, Mark.
Yeah.
It'd have to be you because I feel
my name's Mark Edwards and I live in Singapore. I got a sick pad with a really cool top pool. Like it just cracking in. Oh, it'd be let's do it. I feel a little bit underprepared today, boys. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a busy weekend.
We've accelerated everything a little bit because everybody's in different places. And firstly, to everyone listening, hello, welcome. Ryan and Max are here. We've got lots going on in the show. Obviously, be looking across the Premiership and URC results from the weekend, some big results, and previewing a huge Six Nations as well, and giving our predictions, which are always quite funny because the boys are always off. And yes, we have been rushed around because Ryan is getting on a flight.
What? Hold on, it's you're going to blame it all on me. Where are you going? Sorry, I'm going to Kuala Lumpur.
No, I'm in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm in.
Oh, KL. Sorry, you're in Kuala.
I'm in KL. I'm at home. I'm with my parents.
I'm in KL, actually, right? Yeah.
Like you can't believe you're just throwing the blame off on me again. What we've got to do, and I'll do it whilst we're chatting. I'm going to go back and have a little look at the comments from last week because how funny was that video of Mark in the pool? I don't know whether anyone's weighed into it, so we need to go and check it. But yes, I am. I'm off for work to Portugal today. I know I chucked it in the group just there, Max. It's you said, "Oh, poor you. You must be running around looking after the kids and stuff." It's a golfing holiday.
Oh my! Everyone's just doing wild things, and I'm just locked in the crucible of pro rugby in January still. God,
well, mate, you can listen. Flights from Bristol right now are only 40 quid return. So if you jump on a flight this afternoon and meet me there, free accommodation, free golf. You can come around with us, just chill out. Myself and Adam Hastings are heading away on a scrum to scratch adventure.
Oh, very nice. Are you going to the Evanses?
I'm not, sadly. No. I'm not. There's a chance we could venture down there, but we're actually going to Lisbon. I've never been to Lisbon.
So good.
It's lovely.
So good.
Yeah,
this is great nightclub.
No. This is work. Haysto already texted me this morning.
There's no chance you two are going to get into all kinds of pickles in the
No. And I said to him, this is work, Haysto. Like I said, mate, here's your thing. I'll pick you up at 2:00. And he went, yeah, all good. And then he said, I feel like I'm about to go on a stag do. Why am I so nervous?
Is Pez doing it?
Perry's coming along to vlog the journey. We've got one. They reckon it's one of the best golf courses in the world. So we're going to a place called, I've forgotten the name of it, Comporta do Nas. But yeah, we're going to Lisbon tonight. We'll probably go and have a couple scoops just to relax and go and enjoy the culture. Then head to, and we've got four rounds of golf booked over the next days, and then fly back Thursday.
A couple Ryan, have you ever had a couple scoops?
Yeah, the most hungover rounds of golf are about to be vlogged.
Scoops, more like, yeah. Wait, Mark, why are you in KL?
Oh, it's Chinese New Year this week, so I'm here with the whole family, which is genuinely great fun, really, really good fun. But it's been a while since I've been here as a married person, and it's actually pricey because you got to pay for all the. Got to give, as I said to you guys before, the kids raking it in, absolute cash. And literally, Max just keeps saying to his sister, like, don't worry me, we're getting loads of money this week, so we'll buy it, but about anything. So this is not really the right mindset. But you, Max, if you were here right now, you'd be getting a ton of cash. Not to put any pressure on you and Lauren, but it can be your escape clause for the fact that you're not married. Is you everybody who is married has to give red envelopes of cash for those who are.
It's a fascinating tradition. It's a great one as well. Yeah,
full cash based.
Could I not have just booked a flight for cheap, come over and pretend that I wasn't married?
Yeah, although I don't think it would be the most auspicious way to start the year because it's supposed to be about getting your year going up and running. If I was like, oh, this is my friend Ryan, he's unmarried with no children, and he's actually married with 4, you'd actually, yeah.
Well,
why Kuala Lumpur though? Why Kuala Lumpur?
That's where most of my family's here. My parents have a place here, and they spend 6 months a year here. So.
We're just having a normal conversation again. Max.
Yes.
How was your weekend, my old mate?
I hate Sunday games, lads. I hate them.
Yeah, they're bad, aren't they?
It messes up the week. Can't enjoy the weekend. Try and go out after the game, can't because it's Sunday. It's just a bit meh. But it was good. It was good, mate. We got it done in the end against the doughty, very niggly side that is Newcastle Falcons. It was tight up into 65 minutes. It was getting weird. I was off at this point, but I was getting tetchy. The old heart was stammering. It was getting weird. You know when the team starts doing stuff and you're like, lads, they're getting closer. Mate, there was one point in the game though, where Calavati's taken the mark, right? He's then knocked it on when he's like gone to tap it to go. But then the refs pulled it back because it wasn't on his mark. Then Bill's telling him to, because he can't kick out a hand. So Bill's telling him to pass it to Harry in the backfield. Bro, he throws it to Harry. It goes over his head and over the dead ball line. It was so funny. Everyone's just looking around at each other, like trying to like G him up, but he's literally trying to not laugh. And he's just like, you know. Oh man, it was so good. Probably shouldn't have laughed, but I did. It was hysterical. You know, like just every now and again, like something like that happens on a rugby field. You're like, that'll be immortalized in the old memory for a while.
How did you do, Max?
Oh yeah, it was a solid day out, lads. It was a solid day out. Yeah, no big boo boos. Man, it was good fun. It's good fun. Yeah.
So Max, all good, and then and the troops tried to rally for some drinks on a Sunday night, and as we know, having done it post Champions Cup, nothing came of it.
I ended up with Harry Burns and his mates from Dublin and BV and Gabs Ibatoy in a little pub, and BV was trying to explain this drinking game to us. It's something like, this is the
Cardinal.
Yes, very good.
Oh, lad, Adolf Hitler over here. Look at him. Look. Hold on. You have just made.
I was like, it's going to be that one. It's going to be that one.
No, why did you do that? This is
my first. Yeah, so you got the vessel. It's like,
yeah,
this is my first cardinal drink of the evening.
Look at old Ladmiral of the bantership just down
there. He is.
My second
0800 lad. Yes.
Drink of the evening. And the boys were just losing their minds as BV just made us drink more and more, and everyone started getting like really pear-shaped. But it was good crack, actually. It was good fun. And that was pretty much the evening. And then I Christian bailed, I Batman bombed, got out of there, and I'm with you now this fine morning.
Yeah, see, you're quite good at that. When we had that night out in Bristol, it was like you were very adamant. I know you were bashed up and you were pretty tired, but you're like, boys, I'm going. Whereas I just don't. And Mark's the same. We just don't have the ability to leave.
And you leaving us, Max, it's just, we're like, well, I guess we're in now, aren't we?
No, yeah. It's just like, I was at it. Like, if I go out and I'm like, I've got to get out of here at this time, I just do it. But if I'm like all in, then everything goes wrong.
I wish I had that ability. I'll tell you what, the old dry jam that lasted 3 days has gone really, really badly. Because I obviously went down to London on Thursday. Game was meant to be on Friday. That storm hit, and I was down there doing a Burns supper for Investec, Max. It was actually bloody lovely. The Audley pub in Mayfair. Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh, it's lovely, and they've got the whole building. So they've got the Scottish room in there. Oh, yeah. And it's like this big, all deer antlers. The whole thing's like lined with deer antlers, and it was very nice. Had a lovely Burns dinner. Ended up having quite a few, and then obviously flight cancelled, so we're stuck down in London at my old man's house. So I didn't get back till Saturday. Hence why I'm sort of trying to put my shift in this morning, because I'm about to piss off on a golf trip to Portugal. It's not great. It's not great, but it is work because I'm building something on, Max.
Absolutely.
Building something with scrum scratch.
I get it.
But yeah, so I was stuck down there, and then obviously the game was then yesterday. Bex had a day out planned with her mates for the first time in about 10 months, so I had to take the kids to Glasgow to work.
Are you joking? Are you actually joking?
Nah, just
bring your kids to work day. What was Frank doing? Just reeling around?
Oh no, to be fair, we managed to get Frank a babysitter, but babysitters don't want all four of them. They're like, excuse me? It's like, Dennis the Menace, where they're like trying to find the babysitter, and they're like, hello, this is whoever for Dennis, and they're like, eee! All the phones just keep going down. That's what we're like when we're trying to get a babysitter. So no, I took the big three, and they just entertained themselves. There was one moment where someone came over and were like, do you know where your kids are? We've just had a thing on the radio saying most of the kids are just running feral around the stadium, but do what they want. By the way, I'm just going to be shameless here. Head over to Scrum to Scratch. I need to keep growing the channel, boys. I need more. We need to do more as a group as well. This is a big year for Scrum to Scratch. So come and see what me and Adam Hastings are up to. It's going to be interesting. We've got some weird stuff planned.
You get great guests, and we're trying to do some stuff as well, aren't we? All together in the Far East, ahead of the Live Hong Kong Golf.
Yeah, it'd be nice if people know.
A lot going on.
People want Healy, by the way. They want Healy. Now,
yes.
I know that I'm like the fixer for here, but I'm probably going to let Max go in with that one.
I'm going to give it a crack. Boys, I'm going to get proper church in. We're going to find him. I hope. But I hear he's quite... Going through Harry Byrne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he says he's a little shy, so we'll give it a crack, though. We'll give it a crack.
Max can get him, but if
you think about it, he's been around a long time.
Wilson will not get a single.
Yeah, but if you think about it, he's been around a long time, and you haven't seen him much in any sort of podcast medium. So, yeah, we'll give it a try, though. We'll give it a shot, boys.
We've got a few Americans out there as well. A lot of people saying they're getting ready for the MLR. Looking forward to that. People coming up from Newport, Washington, US of A. So, keep commenting. Drive the algo. There's the plug, but we better get on to some rugby. Let's go.
Oh, no, there was a very good comment, for Max, and there's a chap, I can't remember his name. He did a very in-depth reason why you, Max, should be absorbed into Bristol once you finish your career into the kind of coaching or cultural setup there, because it's exactly what Toulouse have done, which is very true. They've always kept, the guys on who were involved in the club to kind of drive the tradition and the history and the culture forward. And he was saying that's exactly what you should be doing. So,
that's what Glasgow should have done. That's what Glasgow should actually
have done. You're there. You've got a
huge,
job there. You work there.
Yeah, but it's not the same. By the way, there's so many injuries. I should have carried on playing, boys. I reckon I could have been in with a shout for Scotland at the moment. Maggie's banned. Crosby's out. We'll talk about it in a minute. They've just pulled up someone from Pro D2, Alexander Masibaka. So, but looking forward to it. He's Fijian. But we'll get on to the Six Nations. Sorry, I've gone too far forward.
Stay with Ryan. I could go and play for Scotland, having not trained for a year. Easy, wouldn't it?
I just should have stayed fit. I should have stayed fit. God, I would die. I would blow a gasket if I tried to play rugby right now. I genuinely think I'll have an heart attack.
No croc rolls anymore. It's like your perfect time. Because that's how you got injured, wasn't it, last time? But anyway, right, let's whiz through. As we started with Bristol, Newcastle, we might as well just run through the Prem as well. Let's start with the leaders who are ahead of Bristol. Bath, fantastic as always, just kind of, being world class as he is to help guide Bath past Sale.
Yeah, Maxi Ajomo, Rory McConaughey. I like to call him McConaughey. The Carrot, great lad, one of my favourite humans. Good to see him getting a brace. And they were plucky and got that comeback victory against Sail Away, Sail Away, Sail Away. Very difficult place to go. They got it done. And then we on Friday it was Harlequins beating Saints. I was surprised by that, but obviously Saints are massively under from the England sort of selections. But to be fair, it was a bit sloppy. It wasn't the most clinical game of rugby. It was a bit all over the place. So it was basically the person who made the least errors. But Saints getting it done. Quinn's getting it done, and then mighty Gloucester. They're on the rise, lads.
I know.
How? It's unreal.
Shall I tell you why? Shall I tell you why?
Go hit me. I think it's chicken and.
Well, remember what I said at the beginning of the season about some of their recruitments. No, I know, Mark, and it pains you to believe that I was correct, but also they made a very, very good recruitment in behind the scenes in a guy called Killian Reardon, who was the head of performance.
Enlighten us.
Head of performance at Glasgow Warriors that took Glasgow. He was at Leinster.
Mm.
He drove Leinster to where they got to. He then came to Glasgow Warriors and got the boys in a fucking good nick to win the URC. Gloucester came after him pretty heavy, and he's gone down to Gloucester. So you start looking at not just the players, but then people that they do, people behind the scenes.
What's his name?
Killian Reardon, former professional boxer, all big on like his systems in terms of like how he gets the best out of players. He's a good man, actually, very good man. I got on with him well. So he's behind the scenes at Gloucester, and when you start finding things like that out, you go, okay, that could have an effect, and he's pretty smart with what he does. So not just the players, but they've recruited well behind the scenes. So Gloucester, and like all the games that they haven't won, they've been close and they've been in it.
Yeah, they have. They truly have. Max Llewellyn, strong, very strong. How is he not?
Crazy that he's not. I mean, even Sam Warburton said it in the time. It was like, I'm shocked that he's not in there. So just quickly, guys, get your opinions. How important a role do the people? And I know it sounds obvious, but here you're saying he was integral to the URC win, not the head coach, but somebody who's kind of sitting aside from that. How, in your careers, how important have you found the people who are backstage in that way?
Oh, it's a mixture, isn't it? Because the head coach sort of oversees everything, and the best head coaches are the ones that sort of delegate and leave them to it. You get the head coaches who want to get involved in absolutely everything, so they'll be saying, "Oh, this is what we want," and you've got to listen to people like the head of S&Cs, I reckon, are most important because they know the boys. They're in on the ground. They know how fucked people are when they're going through the ringer. But you need the trust between those two. I've had it before where the S&C coaches are going, we know you boys are fucked, but he just wants you to train. Like, that's it. Whereas when they can trust their head of S&C, then you start getting better results, I reckon. It's all about trust, isn't it, Max, with that sort of thing? Because you'll have seen it before. Coaches that just want to flog the players. No, I know best. I know what we've got to do. And S&Cs are just sort of like, well, what am I here for then? Why am I here?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's also like they need to be coordinated and knowing sort of what the head coach wants out of the players. So what physical requirements do the players need to play the game that the coach wants to play? So that relationship between the head of S&C and the director of rugby is quite important, especially in periods like pre-season, etc., where you can sort of drive massive adaptation. In season, it's a little bit different. As Rai said, you need to start like coordinating with rest days and stuff, and when boys are flagging. But yeah, like clever head of like S&Cs are very, very, very integral to a club's success. Absolutely.
And it was a Slater Cup, wasn't it, at the weekend for Gloucester?
It was there's obviously
a huge driving force there around that game, and brilliant to see Ed Slater out there. But there was a fair few motivating factors out there for that game, but Gloucester for me, boys, I'm telling you, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They're looking very good. Thought Mike Brown coming back out there he looked good as well. What's he hitting now? 30. Wait, how old is Mikey Brown now?
38. I think he's 38. 38.
Yeah,
Gloucester up to third now. They're chasing you boys down.
I know, boys.
5 points ahead, but
behind us.
What a turnaround from last year.
I know, huge. Yeah.
Anyway, we better move on, Mark.
Exeter Saris.
Mike Brown, 39. Exeter turns out.
Outstanding. He was very good. And then big up the old age pensioners of the Prem. You know what I'm saying? I'm slowly approaching it. And then Exeter versus Saracens. Exeter getting it done at home. Obviously Saracens quite weakened, but still I thought Exeter looked Mate, they're getting better. They're definitely getting better. They're gonna be.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
I suppose I've just bigged up Gloucester. I don't know how many Leicester were missing, but for me, this weekend's always a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's
it's
so
always a
many
little bit.
players missing. It's just
Distorted,
a
isn't
bit
it?
of a
It's a bit
lottery. It's
distorted,
like, right,
yeah.
let's just fucking see what happens. And that one, yeah, I don't know. Leicester getting better, Exeter getting better. I don't know. Sarries have had some weird ones, haven't they? But it is always a weird weekend, and we'll get onto the URC in a minute because there was some strange ones in there. But I don't know. Do you reckon it's Exeter getting better, or it's just Sarries being really off and missing loads of players?
I think them playing like obviously the European rounds against teams like Bordeaux and Toulouse is obviously a little bit
magnified it.
Yeah, I think it made everything look a little bit worse than it was. But I do believe they're getting better. Fought Roots and Roots had a particularly strong game, especially in the second half. But Frosty going very well. Dan Frost going very well as well there. Apparently signed for Bath. Very, very good signing for Bath next year. But yeah, anyway, that is our Prem roundup.
Very good. Good job there, Max. And in time. Right, let's see if Willisoni can give us a similar one with the URC. Obviously, a few more teams, but some big results, though.
Were there? Which ones are you talking about?
Hey, Zebre winning at Ulster. Surely that's a result. I can't see why, when we chatted about it before, you seemed nonplussed.
No, that's because you were late on and we had already spoken about it. We were having a chat about that game and you were late on because you're fucking too busy handing out cash. In fucking Chinese New Year. It's a huge result. Ulster, embarrassing. And I think we've got some Zebre fans in here, and I don't mean it in a horrible way, but Ulster at home against Zebre, fair play to them. Can you imagine the piss up that the Zebre boys would have been on? So it's huge. I mean, Zebre haven't done that. I don't know. There'll be some crazy stats on how many away wins they've got because it won't be many. But it's a massive upset. But again, it just shows that this is just such a strange round. Like, even when I covered the Glasgow game yesterday, on Sunday, again, it had three hookers involved. No, were they four hookers involved? No second rows on the bench. Just through injuries and the amount of players they're missing with Scotland. They've got 4 second row injuries. It's just like everyone's all over there. It's like stretched like you wouldn't believe. But Zebre, congratulations. I love it. It's great to see. Sharks getting a win at Cardiff, which, again, on the road, Sharks haven't been great, but they're ticking along nicely, starting to climb up the table. And after all the slaggings that we've given the South African teams, they're finding their way up the table nice and easily. Ospreys hammering Benetton, 43-0. Didn't see that one either. So this is what I mean. It's just all a bit over the place.
But how much is that? Is the Benetton one, for instance? Again, what we've said with Exeter and Saracens, where there's a lot of the attack. They've come off a heck of a big Champions Cup week where they've qualified, and then they're getting most of that team are getting ready for the Six Nations, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty much missing half the team. But still, to go over, they don't travel well, do they, Benetton? And then going over to Ospreys and 43-0 isn't great. But yeah, it's just what we're in at the moment. That's it. Last round before the Six Nations. There's not much of this club rugby going on. But like I said, Leinster obviously pushing away at the top.
Undefeated lads.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good, but yeah, you just look at the way they've got their setup going over there, and again, like the likes of Geordie Barrett, R.J. Snyman. Think of all these players away with Ireland, they have the money and they have the ability to have their backup players. I mean, imagine Geordie Barrett and R.J. Snyman being able to just be in there when everyone else is away.
Yeah. They've got depth like a magician's hat. I agree. But
exactly.
Lads, has it ever been done? A perfect season?
Ooh, that's one for me, yeah.
Go on, get on it, Mark.
I don't know. Season?
Do you reckon?
That would be...
Ooh. It must have been. It must have been done. By the way, so the Bulls and the Sharks are now up in 3rd and 4th. And again...
yeah, after we ranking South Africa on the Jump Cup.
They're still in there. And so, Sharks keep pushing to manage to get a quarter at home. Mark, you got any updates on that? Has there been a perfect season?
I believe there's a Crusaders went on a hell of a run in, where was it?
Yeah, they don't count.
Do you reckon Super Rugby doesn't count? I think peak Super Rugby does count.
Yeah, that was...
Like Super 12 we're talking about, bro. Maybe Super 14. Remember that?
19 game on winning streak.
19 games. That's pretty good, pal.
Clermont went 77 matches unbeaten at home over a 4.5-year period. Obviously, it's just at home, but that's pretty.
Yeah.
And then Leinster have had 15 wins in a row.
Do you remember that Clermont team with like Sevi Vatu, Sitovini just slotting in at first receiver? You had like Debati, you had Aurelian, the Duke Rougerie, just doing
Fofana as well.
Wesley,
so good,
generational talent. Oh,
so good. Genuinely so good.
Yes.
That was the team you would have had. Well, you would have had bits and bobs with, right?
Not quite that team, but yeah, it would have been very cool. It would have been very cool, but still.
Fellas, just want to take this opportunity to do a big shout out for our sponsors, our day one sponsors that are Wolf Craig Distillers. Head over to the website, Max, which is
wolfcraig.com.
Jump over there, grab yourself some whiskey. I enjoyed a couple of drams on Saturday for Burns night. So you can head over there. If you've had enough of whiskey, you can grab yourself a lovely gin because they do some wonderful gin. But a massive thank you again to Wolf Craig Distillers for their continued support.
Let's talk about the Six Nations, upcoming Six Nations, which promises to be absolutely banging because teams are in form in as far as there's a lot of teams are thinking that they can do something. There is not perhaps with Ireland over the last few seasons, we're thinking they were the ones that it was theirs to lose, and France as well. But now, positivity around the England side, obviously Ireland, France. You've also got Italians who are doing incredibly well as well, and of course Scotland. The only reason, by the way, I've waited till Scotland because if Sione hadn't got injured, we'd be saying they've got it there. They've got a Lions back, the entire back line potentially. But let's start. Well, let's start with Scotland. It makes sense with you, Ryan, looking ahead to their first game against Italy. But what are your thoughts?
How crazy is it? It's so true. How crazy is it that one injury of Sione, we talked about it last week, can just dismantle anyone's hopes of thinking, right, this is it? Because that is the genuine feeling in Scotland, I think. People going, what are we going to do without him? That's how important a player he is. Like over the years, it's always been, what if Finn gets injured? But I'd go out there and say Sione is more important than Finn. Obviously, he was captain, and we've seen the effect he had on the team during the autumn tests. He's obviously a huge friend of the show, and we're slightly biased, but I just think it's such a loss for Scotland that it puts a bit of doubt in my mind. And then you've got Scott Cummins, who, again, second row, he would have been out-and-out starter every week for Scotland during the Six Nations. Mm-hmm. He's now out.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of chat around some of the other ones, like Richardson from the Sharks, but not really bothered that he's not involved.
Mm-hmm.
Bayliss wouldn't really worry me too much because I don't think he starts. I think he may have been on the bench potentially because it's between him and Crosby. We've still got the back row. Jack Dempsey's only just had one game back. I think he was potentially going to play in the game on Friday for Glasgow, but because they moved the game to Sunday with the storm, he never got to play. So they wanted to make sure they looked after him. So going into this Italy game, battered and bruised. Like you said, if we had that back line of Ben White, Finn Russell, Tuipolotu, Darcy Graham, Duhan van der Merwe, and Blair Kinghorn.
Oh, my razzle.
You're looking at it going,
oh, my flower of Scotland.
Exactly. But suddenly it's not. We have the ability to slot Tom Jordan in. Stafford McDowell in, and I know they'll do a job. I know for a fact they'll do a job, but there's just that aura around Sione Tuipolotu that is just like,
and he's also just in the form of his life, isn't he? He's kind of unplayable in some regards, even at international level. He was your sort of he could like make something out of anything, and he was also like a sort of gain line stalwart with a lot of bags. He's like, he reminds me a lot of like a sort of Nonu, you know what I mean? Like the all court center.
yeah.
So yeah, it is huge. I completely.
So what we do is we come back to the forward pack, right? And that is where in Six Nations you've got to be able to put it in up front. International rugby, it's different. Yeah. It's also going like through the ringer, like fucking hell, boys. Like the times my body were in the worst state ever was during Six Nations, because it's just another level. And especially first games back to back, you obviously got that fallow week where you got to try and get ready for the next game. And everyone's going, look at how well Glasgow are doing. Look at how well Glasgow are doing. And that's because of their fitness. But I don't think some of the boys that you're bringing in from the likes of Edinburgh and other places are on the same level as Glasgow. That's the problem. I would try and get an all-out Glasgow team playing for Scotland. I know.
I just realise how it sounds, mate. I mean, it just sounds ridiculous coming from somebody who's a one-club man with like 200 caps who still works for Glasgow, being like, I just don't understand why they would look elsewhere than just.
Okay.
Well, hold on. So I named that backline. Right there was that backline. That would have been incredible. Then the back row of Darge, Fagerson, Dempsey, all Glasgow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I would have had a second row of Scott Cummins, and Richie Gray's obviously out of there now. He's in Japan.
Pierre Schumann has to play, bro.
Wait. I'm getting there. I'm going second rows. I would have had Scott Cummins and Big Johnny Gray's back in the mix. The torso is back. The torso is back, right? So Big Bag John is back. So there's your second row. He counts as Glasgow. Front row, Xander Fagerson. Pierre Schumann is obviously someone I'd definitely have in there because he can go the distance as well. And then who are we going at hooker? We're going Ewan Ashman, who's an Edinburgh boy. So fine. So there's only two
Edinburgh lads.
And Darcy Graham.
Yeah, Darcy Graham and Duhan van der Merwe, but I would still have Carl Stain if he was fit over one of them.
He plays well.
So yeah, I'm just worried now, boys. I am starting to worry because the other thing is Xander Fagerson gets injured, we're in the shit.
You got Will Hurd from Tigers.
Another second row gets injured. We're in the shit. One of those back rows goes down. So can you go this whole Six Nations keeping everyone fit? I don't know if there's the depth there to do it. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, thank you for that Scotland look ahead.
Optimism.
Yeah.
What have I just done there? You've just
basically gone, Sione's one injury. We're totally fucked. Also, if anybody else gets injured, but yeah, if anybody else, it's probably most squads will have the similar vibe. But anyway, let's move on.
Hold on. Well, let me give you the starting team then for this week. This weekend, I reckon it's going to be Ben White, Finn Russell, Stafford McDowell, Hugh Jones, wingers Dewey and Das, Blair at fullback. So it's not bad. It's bloody good. And you've got Tom Jordan that can slot in there. I think they'll go with Stafford.
Would they not put Tom Jordan in the centres?
Potentially. But I remember Stafford played last Six Nations towards the end against Ireland. He came in and was really, really good. And then you've got your front rowers, Xander, Shuey, Ashman. Second rows will be where the Big John's fit. Can you hear Frank singing Fijian songs, by the way? He's just got back from Joe Jingles. Johnny Gray, Grant Gilchrist, back row Glasgow. So it's still a good team. We're all right. We'll beat Italy. We're fine.
Okay.
Right, Max, vibes towards England. Are you more positive than Ryan is about Scotland? How are your thoughts? Obviously, a big change-up. Mario Toje as the new captain. There are a few injury scares, but actually, it looks a very strong squad on paper.
Oh, boys! The problem is, what do you reckon the public expects from England? Do you reckon they're going to expect like teams to start getting the dubs now? Because obviously that was the massive sort of frustration with England during the autumn internationals was the like lack of ability to kind of finish off games and get them won. The only worrying thing about England was I was thinking about this in retrospect, in hindsight, of those autumn internationals being quite positive. Most of the attacking sort of brilliance and flair came from one guy, and it wasn't really from the shape of the team. It was more from the brilliance of Marcus Smith. So that's obviously a boon and a feather to his cap, but I'm not sure it's a great indicator.
No, that's also thrown at him. It's criticism, bizarrely, particularly Stephen Jones in the Sunday Times always seems to have a go that's a criticism because it means he's not firing the back line.
But I agree. I almost agree with it, though. I know you're obsessed with him, Mark, but I sort of agree with it. I think that he is so good, and it's because he's so good at those running lines. But I don't think he distributes as well as someone like a Ford, someone like a Finn Smith, who uses everyone else. So that's where I genuinely, I'm sort of with it. And I see that's why people are saying put him at 15, because he can he's a little bit wider. He's going to run first, have a distributor at 10. I understand that sort of argument, because Finn Russell, yes, he can do the running, but his first thought is the kick pass.
The boy in holes.
People through holes.
Yeah.
And so they're so different in that way. So that's why when we asked Ollie Lawrence that a few weeks ago, who would you rather? Finn Russell
Lawrence, he has to start. It's just whether he starts at 10 or 15.
If I'm Ollie Lawrence, I'm going. I want Finn Russell inside, because he's gonna give me the ball more. I'm gonna be able to get
silver platter service.
Yeah,
Daddy,
look at Mark. It's okay, Mark.
No, Mark.
I know it's okay. I am merely the fluffer to your conversations, guys. So
anyway, so that's interesting. That's an interesting point, but it's about whether England can sort of capitalise some more victories this Six Nations. Am I optimistic? Well, it's all down to selection, isn't it? Really, like what's he going to pick? Will it be the same? Obviously, Tom Willis has to start. He has to start. He has to start. If Borthwick puts him on the bench, that's mental. That's mental. You're a madman, Stephen. We need go forward. But obviously, Chandler Cunningham's in there. It could be, but the back row's just completely. It's just so many freak show assassins in the back that you just don't know who they're going to pick. Ben Curry.
Okay, but listen. Sorry, Max, to butt in, but think about this. Then you're playing against Ireland away. What do you need? What do you need? You need a defence that's just going to go because I don't know. Maybe actually sit off is what I'm thinking. Because if you fly into Ireland, that's where they cut you to pieces. You've got to just sit off a little bit and not pressurise them. We were chatting about Ireland. They're starting to get found out a bit. What do you need to beat Ireland?
They're going to blitz, aren't they? That's what England's been doing.
Aren't they switching? I thought they were switching the defensive system from the blitz to.
Where did you read that? Was it
hybrid?
We haven't got a clue. We haven't got any idea.
I've got no idea.
But anyway, I generally read that. What we think you need. I think the blitz is what kills you against Ireland, and that's where I think you've got to sit off a little bit more, absorb it.
Do you reckon it does, though? I don't. Yeah, potentially. It depends. It depends how intensely you're blitzing. Like I thought that South Africa game in particular, because South Africa run that blitz pretty hard. They still lost. I agree, but from the narrowest of margins, it was quite disruptive towards Ireland's attack. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that is the way to beat Ireland. But
they have definitely. I did read it somewhere in the Times. Planning to implement a hybrid system requires aggressive line speed, but also protects the width and promotes decision making. So there you go.
So who are you picking? What's Steve picking? I don't know, lads. It's hard to know right now.
I'll tell you what he needs, though. I've heard that if he doesn't get 4 wins, he's out of there.
He's out. Is that true?
Well, that's what's been put out there by as the kind of required win total for this season as the directive.
And I think Scotland are the same. By the way, they need to get at least 4. 3 home wins is going to be difficult because they've obviously got Ireland at home. And they've got to win 1 on the road, and England away, France last game of the Six Nations. So it's going to be difficult. But that for me as well, for Scotland, 4 is the bare minimum that they need. And I've heard a fair few things. If he doesn't get that with England, then sayonara.
Would that be fair, Max?
I think it'd be. I think it would be fair given the sort of the resources at his disposal. Yeah.
But as long what we're saying is let's just go on the debate of who plays 10. What are you going for? Who are you starting at 10? I'm going
starting?
Finn Smith. I'm going for Finn Smith. I'll just chuck him in there. Go with him.
Yeah, I'd go with something like a Mitchell, Finn Smith. Then I'd have Marcus Smith at 15. I'd have the centres though. Oh, good God, lads! It's absolutely mental. I'd potentially put Oscar Beard with Lawrence, and that's what I would do. But there's no chance he's going to do that. There's absolutely no way he's going to do that because he's a sane man. He's probably going to do.
Lawrence, surely he'll be
Slade. Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah, it's going to be Slade Lawrence, and then on the edge he's going to have it he'll have Freeman and Slightholm, I imagine. But he's brought Caden Murley in. Roebuck's in. Oh my gosh, there's so many good wingers. It's tough. It's an embarrassment of riches.
But can they beat Ireland first up?
Yes, they can. They did it last year. They can do it again. 100%. I believe they can. I'm also of the opinion that this Ireland team is slowly beginning to age.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think I want England to win against Ireland.
Oh, what?
Why?
Just to sort of knock them down a peg, and so they come to Murrayfield slightly wounded.
Or is that just so you can have a laugh at Zeebs when you're working with them? Just so
that would help. That would help as well. But genuinely, I don't know. Just to sort of, for the first time ever, I want England to beat Ireland over there because I just think then England are so up and down. They get that win. Scotland then beat Ireland. And the middle game then becomes a little bit more interesting. God, I can't believe I've just said that. I'm going to go wash my mouth out.
Starting pack. I'm gonna go Genji. I'm gonna go Ellis Genge, Luke Cowan, Dickey, Will Stewart. I'm gonna go for a lock partnership of Maro Itoje and the great and destructive Martin. And then the back row, gentlemen. The back row was an absolute clusterfuck.
Well, Willis, we're happy with Willis, Earl, and
I want Theodore Hill in there. I want the Theodore Warhorse Hill in there, but it's not happening. He's gonna go Chandler Cunningham himself.
And Ben Earl.
Boy. That is his boy. We know it's his boy. And Ben Earl has to play. So it's gonna be Ben Earl in his traditional role of 7, even though he's usually a big voluptuous 8 for England. They're gonna put Willis in there. Please put him in there. Please, God. They'll put him in there. And then Chandler Cunningham himself at 6.
Who's your cover just on the bench? Are you putting Ben Curry or Ted Hill?
Ben Curry.
I mean, how harsh if Ben Curry doesn't start in the Six Nations? I'm sorry. You can't win Premiership Player of the Month, 4 man of the matches, whatever, home managed matches.
No. You don't understand. These people don't care about that. These people don't care.
International rugby is a different gravy. Right, we better move it on, boys.
Right, let's move it on. Yeah, we do need to see that.
Come on, you got one job.
It's only you guys, and me, let's keep chatting about stuff, and then every so often you'll be like, "And Scotland."
Move it on, Mark.
Fine, Ireland, as we've just discussed. Anyway, we might as well because they are from Max's perspective, over the hill. He said it.
I did not use those words.
They're not feared. They're not feared as much as they were used to be.
Concur with that. But
God knows why. God knows why. But it's just, I don't know. It's just
not feared. Leinster don't lose ever now.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say, isn't it? It's a weird and stupid thing to say, Max.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm a moron. Don't listen to me.
But yeah.
Okay, well, let's do the 10. Let's do the 10 debate. I think you guys said it before, but Prendergast or Crowley.
I'm going. Yeah, we've gone Prendergast. We're happy with him.
Yeah, I want last week. He looks cool. He looks swaggy. I like him. weird biomechanics, looks naughty.
Yeah,
I think he's the man right now.
They've got a forward.
Track.
They've got a forward pack. That's Ireland have got a consistent forward pack that can just get over the game line and do the job.
And they are just some horrible dynamic athletes. We've got Ryan Baird, Tyke Byrne, the young Jack Boyle's in there. He looks good. Jack Conan.
Who's going to be Who's going to be this season's Joe McCarthy? You remember when Joe McCarthy last year came out of nowhere and we were like, "Who is this beast? Who's that going to be for Ireland? Who's their new guy?" That we're like,
The problem is there's no one going to be really starting that's new, I believe, unless like someone like.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be anyone new. I think you'll see them
really
later on.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I didn't even bring up Henry Pollock when we talked about England, because I don't think he'll go out and risk anything like that in the first game. It'll be later on in the tournament you'll see it. So to keep this short and sweet, Ireland, we're sort of writing them off. We don't know why, but I know it makes no sense.
I just looked at the squad. I'm like this.
They're not as fit.
It's literally that. Absolute beast.
Yeah, I'm like this. Killer.
World class proven. Lion.
Yeah, Gibson Park. Like James Lowe can make anything out of nothing. Yeah. But yeah, they're not that feared. Okay, let's move on.
Fine. Okay, let's talk about France. Now, obviously, a lot of interesting calls. I don't know if you've seen that. They themselves have a second division player in the centre, Noah Nene, who plays for Dax.
Yeah,
he is
like
in.
Yeah.
And then the big one is having Romain and Ntamack back after over a year, almost a year and a half, injured with injuries, and then they are missing some big old players, Ficou, Danty, Olivon.
Show the depth in club rugby in France at the moment. The fact that people are just going in there and pulling players out of Pro D2.
Yeah, but that's a particularly. Have you seen him?
Nah.
He's a problem, mate. He's like 6'3", 6'4", moves like a goddamn jungle cat. Yeah, he's got hands like a heart surgeon. He looks like he's going to be an issue. It's a good shout.
I mean, like, forget about the rugby. The New Jersey.
Oh my beautiful, you sexy vavavoomers. Yeah,
it's like we're good enough. We know and actually we'll have the best kit as well. At least leave that to someone else. But no, they're just
retro beautifulness.
Do you know what I mean? Wales could do with something like that, just to sort of gloss over the shite.
Don't give me the cosmetic win.
Yeah, it's like, right, boys, we're a bit fucked, so let's get a really nice jersey and keep everyone happy. And they fucking like this, I do. Boy, it's fucking lovely.
This French squad is absolutely
France for the win, Max.
This French team is wild. This is just ridiculous.
Do we reckon they're winning it?
Oh, wait, I've got an interesting theory on that Rabah Slimani recall. Do you reckon they got Rabah Slimani in as the inside to the Leinster camp? So he's like got him back and he's like, I need you to tell me all your secrets, Rabah. Let me know everything about the mighty.
That's not a bad shout.
Come on, what?
You will be the architect of their demise.
Trojan horse.
Yes. Although Rabah has gone very well for Leinster this year. He's been quite brilliant, actually, in fairness to him.
But you're right, Max, because it's a game of chess.
But he's like a recall
at
30. Yeah, recall at 35.
Oh, the mind games. The
that is actually that is a
What are you up to, Ryan?
Max, you're fucking genius.
Danny Priso back in. That's cool. He's been going very well for too long. Mate, this team is ridiculous. There's so many monsters. It's basically an armory of mythical creatures. Look at them all. Yeah.
Just a quick one. You played with Antoine Frisch. He's kind of in there.
Mate, Antoine Frisch, wonderful bloke. Very nice man. We had some great. I used to give him lifts because he'd just moved to Bristol. He had a sort of unorthodox pathway to this French squad.
Yeah.
But when it came to Bristol, an all-action centre, big man, gatey, good hands, eye for a good line, did very well. We couldn't keep him because he did so well. Munster signed him, became very good there.
I thought you were going to say he got kicked out for being late every fucking week because you were giving him late.
Probably, yeah.
I think
they did renew his contract, sadly.
In retrospect, in hindsight, did I ever do that to him? Potentially. But yeah, good man. Very good man.
He was kicking about in lower divisions for a while. I think he played at Rouen and
then he got dropped into the lower divisions. Then he came back to Bristol. Then he went to Munster, tore up there, and now he's in Toulon.
There we go. So everybody's kind of positive about France. That worries me somewhat, but
what's to be negative about there? I don't.
Yeah,
they have got some big injuries, but I know it doesn't seem to matter. But they do have.
But the way that Toulouse, the way that Bordeaux are going, just everything about them, the jersey, DuPont, it's just not fair. And what isn't fair is it's all going to come down to
wait. What's the big injury?
The Super Saturday, Max, where
Olivon and Ficou and Danty are all.
Ficou, Olivon,
Danty.
Yeah,
can you believe, Max? Can you believe it's going to come down to Super Saturday, where Scotland go to Paris to play off for the Grand Slam?
I'm looking forward. Actually, every season, what I love with you, Ryan, is when you start getting into it. Say Scotland beat Italy, then you're like, all we've got. It literally every year, it's the same one. It's all we've got to do is actually beat Ireland at home, which we're strong at home, and then you're going to be like straight into the next one. Yeah, we've got to go to Twickenham, but we don't fear them because we've beaten them before. Scotland, Wales, and it does just come down to France, Scotland. You're like, you'll say this at half time of like the Scotland-Italy game in week 1.
Yeah, and be like, we're fucked. Max, let's just go. France winning it, yes, with a Grand Slam. Tell me. I think they will. I think France will do the Grand Slam. I think Grand Slam.
I think they're beatable still.
Who's going to beat them?
Between England or Ireland for me. Scotland, Scotland don't have you ain't got the horsepower up front for these.
All right, okay. Right, let's see England beat France. Right, that's a fucking. That is. Do you know what I mean?
Look how offended you are,
Ryan. You said like, what do England what do they come into this tournament? Mate, the same as they have for as long as any of us have been alive. They expect to beat everybody and they expect a Grand Slam every year, regardless.
Ridiculous.
Right,
let's go.
Let's go on to Italy next because I'm doing it via more or less the order of where we finished before. Italy, I mean, this surely is the season where they're feeling incredibly confident after they've looked so strong in their mostly Italian side, Benetton, and their partnerships working very well. You guys waxing lyrical as they did against Bristol about the old Brexoncello, Brex Menoncello in the centres. What are your thoughts?
2 wins. 2 wins for Italy.
2 wins?
Yeah.
Where are they coming? Wales and
England.
Very good.
I just don't know. Like with Italy, I just feel like on their day they can just pull something out of nowhere. So, and they like it's not from nowhere, is it? Like you said, Benetton are getting better. A lot of that is the Italian team. They've, Capuzzo's really kicking off at Toulouse. He's looking pretty special. Yeah, I've got good hopes. I am a little bit nervous about that first game at Murrayfield. You've got to be, because you never know what's going to happen the first weekend. But I can see it coming a little bit later on in the tournament. I reckon they'll get 2 wins.
This Italy team.
Yeah, it's not.
Max, you talked about Matt Gallagher as well from that time you played against.
Matty Gallagher's in there. Yeah, we've got Brex Menoncello.
Lamaro.
He's going well. Stephen Varney, Angie Capuzzo, and Monty. Big Monty Ioane on that overs with the big fend. Woof.
You guys made me laugh with the Federico Ruzza. I don't know why. I've never.
Yeah, just love to see where's my boy. I'm looking for him.
Somebody with a panicked face.
Mate, he's a big part. He's a big part.
He's huge, integral to that pack. Him and Niccolò Canone. And then Ross Vincent in the back row with Negri. It's all, oh man, there's some, yeah.
There we go. Well, look, let's go. Okay, because we're going to come up with our final standings and our predictions for first week results and our final standings. Let's talk Wales.
Here we go.
talk us through. I mean, we discussed it last week. They've axed almost all the fly halves. They've left some people out again. We said it with Max Llewellyn. But is there some sort of positivity that can be deemed from the squad with some returning players that are world class in the shape of obviously Josh Adams and your mate Sanj, you know, in Liam Williams and stuff. So yeah, what are our thoughts?
Lads. This team can do it if they can play. If they play well together, if the coaching's right, that like if you look at this team list, it's a good team, bro. There's a lot of like experience.
Yeah, I
really
completely agree. I completely agree. But it's like the 10 is like everything evolves around your 10.
Yeah, and
we're talking about the amount of 10s that England have got. Smith, Ford, Marcus Smith. Who do they pick? Scotland, like Finn Russell, is obviously the key part to what Scotland do. Just look at that and you go, what are they going to do at 10? Like, what are they going to do?
Just put chicken in. Why have they done that?
I don't know. They've got who is it? It'll be Ben Thomas that starts, won't it?
Yeah, it's Ben Thomas and then Dan Edwards as the backup.
Mate, the pack can do a job, boys.
And like everyone's talking about, why has that Llewellyn from Gloucester been left out? What is going on there? Because that is what you need. You need, like, think of back in the day, right? When they were at their pomp, they had like the power game of Jamie Roberts and George North, like, you know, in terms of their backs. That's what Llewellyn brings, I think.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
That's
he's
so true.
He's that sort of power game player that you always look at Wales and think they need. I just don't get it. Maybe he's pissed someone off, but yeah, it's just I don't know. I just can't. I don't know how they're going to turn it round. Do you know what? I hope they do, because
I think they will. Just given they've added some quality. Like there's a
who have they got first?
France first Friday night. It's not
going to build much confidence, is it? That's
no, but bizarrely, it's the game I hate the most because I never want anyone to win or whoever it hurts the least. But it's always been a relatively tight affair, and quite entertaining over time. So.
Well, I can tell you it'll be entertaining, but tight, Mark. I don't quite think so.
Right, guys. Let's firstly go for the first weekend. Give me your predictions. Let's go France, Wales.
France.
Scotland, Italy.
Scotland.
Ireland, England.
Ireland.
England.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Right, final standings so that we can laugh at whoever's the worst. Right, let's go. Final standings. Let's go with Brian. Go.
France, Ireland, Scotland, England, Italy, Wales.
Max Tron.
Oh, that's. So that you see that right there is actually pretty sound thinking. The only thing interchangeable there is Scotland and England, in my opinion.
You realise you do that again. That's 3 years in a row where the only difference that you're willing to make, because it's always.
I'm just going to go.
What are we fighting for?
I'm flipping. I'm twisting that. I think Scotland have beaten England too many times on the bounce now. I think it changes this year. I'm going to go with England.
I don't even know if that'll be the decider between that. I think it could be somewhere else, because I'm with you. I think there's been too much fortune for Scotland down there that I'm starting to now get a little bit worried. It's like, has that got a little bit too easy? Mark, give us yours.
Personally, I think it'll be France, Ireland, Scotland, England, Italy, Wales, very sadly. So I'll be top
exactly the same as me.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Then I'll change.
There we have it.
Fine.
He agrees.
Boys, there we have it. To all of you listening and watching, come into the comments. Let us know how ridiculous you think some of those predictions are, some of those thoughts. Let us know in the comments. Bring up the algorithm. But thank you for watching and for listening. And we will be having a fabulous Six Nations with lots of very fun guests. Until then, lots of love. Bye.
I'm off to Portugal, baby.
More or nothing.